Hey there guys and gals, this is Chris with Ignited by Nature and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm taking a closer look at the OutIn Nano portable espresso machine. For those of you who love your coffee as much as you love the great outdoors, this espresso machine promises to deliver a rich crema-topped espresso anywhere you go, on the go. But does it live up to the hype? Let's find out. The OutIn Nano is a compact, battery-powered espresso maker designed for outdoor adventures, road trips, or anywhere you want to go without a full coffee setup. Let's take a look at some of the key features. The first thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to the OutIn Nano was how it was packaged. The overall aesthetic was very nice, and I was very pleased with the packaging and just the overall presentation of opening this up. Now, I did want to say that I did not buy this product. OutIn actually reached out to me and they wanted me to review it. And at first I was kind of hesitant. And then my wife saw it and she's like, Christopher, you need to get this and review it. I want it. And so I did. She didn't actually knife hand me, by the way. That's just a Marine Corps thing. So I'm sorry about that. It's intense, you know, the knife hand, but just something I kind of got accustomed to for a while when I was in the Marines. And sometimes I like to throw it out, you know? Keeps people in check. Now, the OutIn Nano actually came with a cup. So when you get it, it's actually packaged like this. You pull it out and this cup comes off. And then this is a cap that actually holds one of the two dispensers it comes with. There's a coffee grounds dispenser that you can put your coffee grounds in. And then you actually have this scooper. And then you can also pack down your espresso with that. One feature that I really like and my wife likes too is that this thing can actually use Nespresso pods, and we really enjoy the Nespresso pods. It's just easy to have this with you in the backcountry and have some Nespresso pods. This is relatively lightweight. It's under a pound. I think it's like 8 ounces for 10 of them. You can also grind coffee. So this is coffee that we roasted and I ground up, and this is the way to go, honestly. But if you're feeling lazy, the espresso pods are nice. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, now that I have everything scattered about on the desk, is the overall weight of the OutIn Nano. It's relatively compact. It's about the size of a Nalgene bottle when you have it all set up. So if you wanted to pack the portable cup and everything, this thing is about the height of a 32-inch Nalgene. It's a little bit slimmer, and then it weighs about 1.5 pounds if you have it full of water, and then you also have a capsule holder and the coffee grounds. If you wanted to not have the water in it, or and you want to take out the coffee grounds and you just want one of these dispensers, you can actually put that in there, screw it in. Actually, I gotta put it in that way, huh? And then you screw it in and load it all up. And this weighs 1 pound, 6 ounces altogether. So you save a couple ounces if you don't have the water or the coffee in it. If you wanted to hike in and you wanted this thing ready, say you left in the dark early morning and you wanted to have a coffee at sunrise, 1 pound, 8 ounces for a full setup. Next thing I wanted to talk about with the OutIn Nano was the fact that it is battery powered and it has a rechargeable battery. You can recharge it via a USB-C cable. I really like that feature because I have Apple products and everything uses USB-C nowadays. And so I can just bring one cord and save some weight there by doing that. And then I just bring one battery and I charge everything with one cord. And it's just magical and I love it, right? It just saves me a ton of weight. Not really, but you know, it's just something a little nerdy that I like to do. And I save weight that way, I guess. Moving on from that, this has a 7,500 milliamp battery. And with a full charge, you can heat up water that's room temperature, and you can fill this up to about 50 milliliters and you get 4 brews out of it. If you want to do 70 milliliters of water, so that's like a double shot, I guess, you get about 3 brews out of this. If you want to save some battery life, say you were going on a backpacking trip, you bring your stove, you boil the water, and OutIn actually says you can get up to 200 brews by doing it that way. Another great little feature about this product is that it has a built-in pump. So it actually produces true Nespresso flavor with a 20 bar pump. And yeah, it gives you a nice little bit of crema in there. And if you're a coffee connoisseur, I guess people like that. The overall water capacity of this espresso machine is 80 milliliters, so you can fill this up to 80 milliliters. The recommended fill measurements are 50 milliliters and 70 milliliters, so you essentially get a single shot or a double shot. The downside to only being 80 milliliters is that if you're making coffee for multiple people, you're gonna have to keep filling this up. Versatility is another feature that I really like about the OutIn Nano. You have the option to use coffee grounds, and like I said, you have this little coffee ground holder, and you can put coffee grounds in there and pack everything down just like you would if you were brewing espresso at home. If you wanted to use the pods, you also have a pod holder or a dispenser for that. You just flip this thing around, you stick a pod in there, and it's got little teeth. You push it in and it pokes a hole in it, and then when you close this thing down, it has little teeth here and it pokes a hole in the other side, and you can actually brew Nespresso pods. And me personally, I like to use an espresso pods when I'm backpacking. It's just cleaner, and then I don't have to worry about grinding coffee. It's really simple to use. It has one button. You just press this little button right here. When you want to brew coffee, you hold it down for 2 seconds, and then it starts to brew. Now, if you pour hot water into the top of this thing, you just double click this and it's going to instantly start brewing. With all that being said, the brew time on this can range anywhere from 30 seconds all the way up to 5 minutes, depending on the temperature of the water. From everything that I tested, it heats that water up to about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but I'll put it up here for all those people, not in the United States. OutIn says that with boiled water or hot water, you can get 200 brews out of this. Like I said, I haven't tested that, but if someone has, definitely leave a comment down below and let me know, because I'd love to hear that it works. I just didn't want to waste that much coffee, and I'm definitely not drinking 200 cups. So yeah, I'd be like cracked out, probably want to sleep for a week. So now that we talked about some of the key features that I wanted to hit on with the OutIn Nano, let's go ahead and talk about the build quality and design. The overall design and build quality of the OutIn Nano is very nice. It's built out of a durable plastic. It's very robust feeling, and I feel like you could drop this and it would still work. You might get some dents in it. Definitely going to chip the paint, but I definitely think this would be a good tool to have with you in the backcountry, or even if you're going on road trips or, you're flying across the country. You can take this in a backpack really easily, fit in a side pocket or inside the main pocket of the backpack, or even and a top shelf. I would compare this to about the size of an Nalgene bottle. And if you are just traveling for like a day, traveling in an airport, and you don't want to have to wait in line or drink any nasty Starbucks coffee, then you can go ahead and bring your own brew and brew it right in the airport. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was performance, which we already kind of touched on with the key features, but overall, I was pretty happy with the performance of this thing. It's definitely pretty efficient, but as far as heating up water and using it, if you're planning on using this for multiple days, it's not the way to go to actually bring lukewarm water or room temperature water and try to heat up and brew your coffee that way. You're just going to drain the battery. That 20 bar pump, as I mentioned earlier, does give it a true espresso flavor. It's got a decently rich and smooth flavor, and it does produce some crema. Now, another thing that I use to judge my coffee and to also rate how strong it is, after I drink a cup of coffee or a shot of espresso, if I have to poop right away afterwards, that's a good cup of coffee. And with this thing, I had to poop right away afterwards. So I don't know if that's TMI, but definitely it makes good coffee. It proved that by making me have to crap right away. So yeah, everyone poops, right? That's a book I'm reading my daughter right now. TMI maybe, but yeah, brews a good cup of coffee. So next, I'm just going to be kind of repetitive here and sum up the overall performance of this machine as far as brew times. If you put hot water into the top of this thing, so I'm talking like boiling water, and you double click it, it's going to instantly start to brew, and you're going to have coffee within 30 to 45 seconds. Next, you're going to use either room temperature water or something similar to that. You're going to pour it in the top. The fastest that I had that brew was 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and that was with a full charge. And then every time I brewed after that, it kind of got progressively slower. If you take water out of your refrigerator, or you're using cold water because you're out camping and it's really cold and your water bottle is really cold because it's been sitting in your tent It's not in your sleeping bag, it's maybe in your pack. That's going to take about 5 minutes and you're really going to drain the battery. The next thing I'll just touch on again is the overall flavor. I think it's decently rich, decently smooth. I'm not a big coffee connoisseur. My wife thought it was good. I watched some hoity-toity British people talk about it before I did this review, and they said it wasn't that great, whatever. And then let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the other thing that I wanted to mention was that once you drain this battery, it takes about 3 hours to charge. So it doesn't charge very fast. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and see how this thing works. I got my pitcher of water, and I also have my MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe, and then my pot to boil the water. I'm going to show you how this thing works with hot water, and then I'm also going to show you how long it takes with regular room temperature water. We're going to start off with just a regular brew, and we'll go ahead and pour this to 50 milliliters. So I just want a shot of espresso. And then we'll put the cap on. This little capsule will hold ground coffee, and we'll do that right now. We'll fill it up. Fresh ground coffee. Once we have it all packed down, we'll go ahead and put the lid on, and then you can actually flip this over like so. Put that on, and then you're going to screw on this cap. Now that we have everything set up, we'll go ahead and press this down for 2 seconds. Now you're going to hear it beep, which you already did. I don't know why I said that. And then we're just going to wait. It's going to flash, and then it's going to keep flashing until it gets to 4, and then it will stop flashing and then beep again. And that's when we know we're ready to actually brew the espresso. So it's flashing at 4 now. So we should hear a beep pretty soon, and then we'll be ready to brew our coffee. Let's move this over here. Oh, there we go. Ah, ooh, look at that crema. Just kidding. I just watched a lot of videos and there are people actually doing that. But there is some nice crema in this, so it is impressive that this little machine does have crema, and yeah, it tastes pretty good too. And there we go. We have a 50 milliliter shot of espresso. We'll go ahead and set that to the side, and then we'll do our little taste test. Actually, I'm not going to taste test it. I'm just going to drink it all because it's only a shot of espresso. Yeah, it's good. Not too hot, not too cold. Next, we're going to go ahead and boil some water with my Pocket Rocket Deluxe, and then we'll pour it in here and see how fast that brews. Okay, so we got the pot filled with water. We'll go ahead and get this lit up. There you go. Go ahead and set this on there and just let this boil. Stay with me. We'll go ahead and speed this up again so you can watch me kind of move around, do things all fast and whatnot. Okay, so this is floating around and I think the water is boiling, so we'll go ahead and turn this off. Took about a minute. I don't know, I'll have to check the time on the camera, and I'll put the time right here, how long it took to boil. The next thing we got to do real quick before we actually start the whole process is we have to take the old coffee out. I'm going to go ahead and just use the Nespresso pod dispenser, and we'll go ahead and get an espresso pot out. Like I said, this takes the smaller ones, not the newer ones, which are the bigger ones. So it's really easy. You just go ahead and press the Nespresso pot in, and it pokes little holes in it on the back side, and then you're just going to take this side and put the cap back on and twist it on. So then we're just going to put this cup that it comes with on it, and then we're just going to double click since we already have hot water, and the process is going to start, and it should take anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds. It might even be a little faster since this is literally boiling water. We'll go ahead and just wait, and then I'll put the time up when I'm editing. I'll look at the time on the camera, and I'll be able to put it up right here so you can see the actual brew time. And look, within the time that I was, rambling and all that stuff, it's already done. So there we go. We got a nice piping hot brewed espresso shot. It's got nice crema. I don't know if I'm going to be able to drink this one. We'll see. It's a little hot, but it's good. Tastes good. Okay, so that was fun. We showed you how this machine worked with boiling hot water, and then before that, I also showed you how it worked with room temperature water. Now that I've shown you how easy this machine is to use, let's go ahead and talk about the pros and cons of the OutIn Nano. Let's start off by talking about the pros. The first pro that I wanted to talk about with this device is its versatility. It really is a versatile machine. You can use coffee grounds and you can use Nespresso pods. I really like the versatility of this, and I think that is definitely one of the biggest pros of this machine is its versatility. The next thing I want to talk about as far as a pro is its overall weight. The OutIn Nano weighs 1 pound, 6 ounces roughly. If you have everything in it, that includes the 50 to 70 milliliters of water, and then you also have the coffee grounds in it. It weighs 1 pound, 8 ounces roughly. Another pro to this machine would be the fact that it's battery powered and that it has a USB-C charging port. Most things do these days, but I always love when it's USB-C because it's going to work with my kit, so I really appreciate that. And then also with the 7500 milliamp battery, it actually heats water up. So if you don't have the ability to heat water, or you're not planning on, taking this on a week-long hike, you can use this thing for probably a full day. Another pro that I wanted to talk about would be its ease of use. This thing is easy to use, and we even demonstrated how easy it is. You just click the button, hold it for 2 seconds, and you're instantly brewing coffee. Last pro that I wanted to talk about is the overall quality and the taste of the espresso. For a portable machine, I think this produces pretty good espresso. It has that 20 bar pump, so you get that really nice crema taste, and you can see the crema at the top when you're brewing it, and it tastes pretty good. Let's move on to the cons of the OutIn Nano portable espresso machine. The first con that I wanted to talk about was the overall price of the OutIn Nano portable espresso machine. Now, I put it as a con just because I wasn't sure what was too expensive for most people. For me, I don't really think it's that expensive for what you get with it. It's $149.99 on Amazon, and I think on their website it's $159.99, but they might even have a 10% coupon code that they offer. I think the last time I checked they did, but I'm not sure. But if you go to their website, you'll see the price and if they have any promotions. And then, like I said, on Amazon, it's $149.99. Next, as far as cons, I wanted to cover the battery life. Now, I know I put this as a pro as well. I like the fact that it was rechargeable and portable. I think that was the pro as far as battery life. Now, if we're talking about how long it lasts, I would say that's definitely a con. You do get to heat up 4 cups of coffee or 4 espresso shots, but after that, the battery dies and it takes 3 hours to charge. Another con that I wanted to mention was the water tank. I imagine that they made the water tank the size that it is to keep the overall weight and the size down. So if you're making coffee for multiple people, you're just gonna have to fill this thing up every time. It's not a huge deal, but it's definitely a con. Another con that I also kind of put as a pro was weight. For most people, the weight's probably not going to be too much of an issue, but overall, for those ultralight guys or those ounce weenies, 1.5 pounds is probably going to be a deal breaker. And then the last con that I wanted to talk about with the OutIn Nano portable espresso machine was the overall temperature of the espresso that it outputs. When I measured this with a thermometer, or I took the temperature with a thermometer, I was getting 127 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. For most people, I think that's going to be a con if you're really a coffee connoisseur. And from all the other videos that I watched before I did this review, because I always like to do some studying on top of my personal opinions, I want to see what other people think. And it seemed like a lot of the really snooty people didn't like the temperature. So I did put that as a con. So, who is this machine for? Well, if you're a person who loves espresso and you can't go without a quality cup, even when you're miles from civilization, then the OutIn Nano portable Nespresso machine might just be for you. However, if you're aiming at ultralight backpacking, then the extra weight might feel unnecessary for you, and this might not be the machine for you. Me personally, I think that I'm going to use this machine during the summer, especially when I'm backpacking with my wife and kid. And then even if I'm just going up to an alpine lake to go fishing or doing some scouting or we're doing some road tripping, I'm definitely going to use this. To wrap this up, the OutIn Nano portable espresso machine is a great little gadget for coffee lovers who love the outdoors. It's easy to use, it delivers surprisingly good espresso, and it doesn't require much setup or space. While the weight and the battery life might be concerning for some, especially on longer trips, the convenience of being able to brew a fresh espresso shot while in the backcountry is pretty awesome. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay connected to the wild. If you found this video helpful, Please like and subscribe to my channel for more outdoor gear reviews and adventures. Also, click that bell button for notifications of future releases. I'd really appreciate it. And then if you want to follow me, you can follow me on any of the social media platforms. I'd always appreciate that as well. And then if you want to leave a comment, do so below. I'd love to hear your feedback and to hear what you're using for outdoor coffee on the go. Once again, my name is Chris with Ignited by Nature, and until next time, guys and gals.